A friend told me about the Coorong and suggested I might like to visit there, so I did, and it's beautiful. What really stood out for me is just this gentleness about it, like Swan Bay, but also this space and these colours of blue and green that really resonated with me. And they're hard colours to make work in a picture, so I wanted to challenge myself. The paintings themselves are deeply grounded in the landscape that I'm looking at, whether it be the Coorong or the Mallee or the Little Desert or Swan Bay. There's something slightly more generic happening with the way in which I make these paintings, but what's curious for me is, and it has been like this for a few years, is that the paintings, they're not easily read. You know that the paintings are of the landscape, and it may trigger something somewhere that you've seen somewhere along your travels, but they're not all spelled out for you as a realist painting might be, and that's quite intentional on my part. I want someone looking at a painting to be able to keep going back to it and finding something else. And what seemingly looks like a cacophony or a mess on the canvas, I pour over every square centimetre of each painting, make sure that everything is exactly where I want it to be. At the same time, you know, have an overall impact visually when you look at it, in order to hit your eye and hit your retina and hit your guts at the same time. Yeah, the last 6 months or so, I've been spending a day a week at Northcote Pottery, making ceramics in response to the landscapes I've been painting. And I can't tell you how wonderful it is to be able to make something in a 3D way with your hands. It's quite joyful. And the markings I've made on the ceramics are also about a receding waterline where it meets the shore, the detritus on the shoreline, or the diminishing of a salt crystal lake as it dries out over summer. My work has changed in a sense that many years ago there'd always be the ritual slashing of a canvas, or the impetuous nature of wanting a painting to be resolved quickly and fully. But the slashing rarely occurs these days, and so with the roundness of time, and if a painting is not working, either putting it aside or coming back a different day and trying something completely different with it. But trying to catch that elusive picture that has some depth to it. And you know, the perennial question is, can the landscape or a portrait, I mean, it's probably a bit easy with portraiture, you know, it can have an emotional content to it, but can a landscape painting really trigger something in someone that speak to them in a deeper way? So that's my perennial quest, really. Yeah.